Morning Gwinnett, a division of Noise Media Network, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, sharing stories about people and places around beautiful Gwinnett County and beyond. Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Southern living at its best.
Good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett land and all of you around the world listening to the sound of my voice. It is a beautiful, and I do mean beautiful, day here in Gwinnett County. It is 71 degrees going up to a high of 80 with no rain. No rain in the forecast, but you know we live in Georgia, so that could easily change in the blink of an eye. Yesterday it was pretty. I thought it was going to rain because it did get overcast, like it got kind of cloudy. It is going to be a little bit cloudy, but right now it is gorgeous. 71 degrees, that temperature is only going to go up to high 80. That's nice. So today is National Splurge Day. Now listen here. It didn't say what to splurge on. It just says National Splurge Day. Now, you can decide what you want to splurge on. Do you want to go shopping and splurge? Do you want to splurge on some ice cream? Do you want to splurge on some food? I don't know. It's just National Splurge Day. So pick your splurge. That sounds cool, right? Pick your splurge. I like that. I might do something with that. No, I'm not doing anything. Anyway, I got a good guest for you today. I'm not gonna talk long. I'm gonna give you your horoscopes, and I'm gonna come back because I got a great guest. He was my guest way back when, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. I talked about him yesterday briefly. I didn't tell you who he was. I just said I got a great guest for you. And I do. I have a really good guest for you today. He's going to share some information about not only your health, but he's also an award-winning author. He's an award-winning playwright. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We got a lot of stuff to unpack in a very short period of time because he's a busy man. I'm happy to have him on. He was supposed to be on before, but I got a chance to interview someone else in his place who's also great. His name was William Hayashi. You missed that episode, go back, go listen to goodmorninggwinnett.com and listen to that episode. And also check out the episode with Chef Hank, especially if you're thinking about going into the food industry. If you're thinking about starting a restaurant or a food truck, you need to listen to my episode with Chef Hank because it's a great episode. All right, without further ado, let's get on with your horoscopes brought to you by noted astrologer Micah Thyssen. Today is June the 18th. Can y'all believe it? We are almost through this month. Time waits for no one, not anyone at all. Not at all. So we're going to kick it off like we always do, and that is with Aries. Try to avoid serious discussions with loved ones. Opportunities to make advancements through good business sense are evident. Try not to hurt your partner's feelings. Listen here, Aries. Don't hurt nobody's feelings today. You got to live with that person. So don't listen. Be nice. Just be nice. Taurus. Think about your budget before booking a trip. Your lover may feel rejected. Time is money, and you must be ready to take action in order to reach your highest potential. Time is money, baby. Listen, take the time you need to get things done so you can reach your highest potential because time is money. Don't waste it. You're wasting time. You're wasting money. That's a good one, too. Ooh, I'm full of good ones this day. Gemini, take time to catch up on gossip and make plans to do a little adventure travel. Chances are you're split up with last time because you didn't really want to make a commitment. Let me find out you're a commitment folk, Gemini. You a commitment folk? Yeah. Your love will be extremely sensitive, and now would not be a good time to make changes they won't like. Yeah, are you afraid of commitment, Gemini? That's why y'all split up the last time. You're going to split up again if you're still afraid. Let me just let you know. Michael didn't say that. That's just me throwing in my 2 cents. Cancer, you can't help everyone. You may have difficulties with foreigners. Your love will not be willing to listen to your criticism. So keep it to yourself. I added that last part. Listen, your love don't want to hear what you got to say today. So don't criticize today, Cancer. Just keep it to yourself. Keep the peace. Keep the criticism to yourself. All right? All right. Leo. Your positive attitude and intellectual outlook will draw others to you. Personal alterations will be in your best interest. Put all your energy into making money-making adventures. All of it. Make sure it's a good one, though. You know, if you're going to put your energy into a money-making adventure, make sure it's not a scam. Yeah. Don't try to go for the get-rich-quick because it doesn't work, Leo. Trust me, I know. Been doing this forever. I don't know if y'all remember Carlton Sheets. Way back in the day, late night TV. Yep, that was me. I was on it. Didn't work for me, though. It worked for some people. Didn't work for me. It was Get Rich Quick. I think they even had one called Get Rich Quick. Yeah, that was me too. Virgo, Talk to people who can give you important knowledge. You may have difficulties while traveling or problems dealing with close friends or relatives. You'll be surprised how much you can accomplish. Normally, when we take the time to just stop and look at things, we are surprised at the amount of stuff we can accomplish. And you know what? It feels great when you accomplish something. I mean, talking about amazing. Yes, it feels good. So you're going to accomplish some things and you're going to be surprised today. All right, I'm going to go to a song. I'll be right back after the song to give you more of the Harvest Goes brought to you by Noted Astrologer Micah Thyssen. You'll listen to the Good Morning Gwinnett show. Stay tuned.
Come find me in the night. We both know when it's right. Babe, I can ease your mind, but I want it my way. Come meet me in the crowd. Everything is allowed. Your mind is running wild, but we'll do it my way. Love is a feeling, and you can quench this fire. No. So give me when I want it, baby. 'Cause I got what you need. Just give it to me, oh give it to me now. Just give it to me, oh give it to me now. Just give it to me, oh give it to me now. Just give it to me, oh give it to me now. Slow dancing in the night, yeah. I wake you up inside. I want you close and tight. Yeah, I want it my way. Love is a feeling, and you can quench this fire. No. So give me when I want it, baby. 'Cause I got what you need. Oh, just give it to me, oh give it to me now. Just give it to me, oh give it to me now. Just give it to me, oh give it to me now. Just give it to me, oh give it to me now. Just give it to me, oh give it to me, oh
Welcome back. You're listening to the Good Morning Gwinnett show. I'm your host, Roger Bell Kearney, giving you the daily horoscopes brought to you by Noted Astrologer Micah Thyssen. We're going to pick it up with Libra. You can make financial gains if you are prepared to take a risk. Renovations to your domestic scene will pay high rewards. Try to satisfy both of your needs, not just yours. Don't be selfish, Libra. Try to satisfy both of your needs, not just yours. It's a sharing day. Yes, it is. Scorpio. Be sure to get involved with those who can introduce you to unusual forms of entertainment. Get together with friends and catch up on reading and letter writing. Make amends if you can. Okay, so is letter writing a thing to do with your friends? A book club, the reading part. The letter writing, I don't get that part. I don't know. Maybe that's your unusual form of entertainment. I don't know, Scorpio. Letter writing? Really? I have no idea what that means. Sagittarius. You can get friends to help you with preparations. Romance will be on your mind, and chances for ideal connections are in the works. Organize your social events or family gatherings. All right, you got some romance on the horizon, baby. It's going to be a romantic day for you today, Sagittarius. Capricorn, be careful, be very careful while in transit or while traveling in foreign countries. Try not to overspend on friends or family. Finish those changes you've been talking about making to your residence. Listen, if you're traveling today, be very careful. Be safe. Corona is still out there. She's still floating around. She's not gone anywhere. So be careful, especially if you're going to foreign countries and you don't know your way around. Heck, you could be traveling in the United States. Be careful. Either way, be careful. Be safe. Aquarius, you may be fortunate while traveling. Love could develop at social events that are work related. I don't know about that one. It might be best to spend time fixing up your premises and making changes that will be appreciated. Now listen here, Aquarius. That love at work kind of thing, I don't know. I told you about that story, my at work romance. I told you, right? Yesterday, I just talked about that. You might go back and listen to that episode. Yeah, I don't know about that one. And my fellow fish Pisces, don't blow situations out of proportion, or you could find that others will misinterpret what really happened. Okay, listen, they about to tell us to invent something. Yeah, use your inventiveness to find solutions. Try to curb your habits, or you could find yourself in an awkward financial positions. I don't know about you, fish, but I don't have any awkward habits when it comes to money. Not right now. Maybe before I did, not right now. Now, they want us to use our inventiveness to find a solution. That's what we do. We are inventive people. You know we do that, fish. All right, listen, that's all the horoscopes I got for you today. I'll be back again because you know today is my Friday. I'll be back again on Monday at 10 a.m. to give you more of the horoscopes brought to you by Noted Astrologer Micah Thyssen. Now let's get on to our show. So my guest today, oh my God, I was reading his bio. It's amazing. He's a doctor. He's an author. He's a award-winning author and screenplay writer. He is a he helps people get in shape. He runs boot camp. He's a presenter. Oh my goodness, his bio is amazing. I had the chance to interview him about 4 years ago, and I thought he was amazing then. He's been doing some amazing things. When we met, we were both just getting into the media space with our internet TV companies, and I want to talk to him because I haven't heard. That's not in the bio, so I'm interested to find out what happened with that. Because mine kind of just, it didn't die out. It just kind of did its own thing. But now, of course, I have a new one, so. You know, but anyway, my guest today is Mr. Braxton Cosby, Dr. Braxton Cosby. He's a great guy, y'all. He is a novelist, and the guest I had on a few weeks ago is actually under his imprint as an author. So, without further ado, welcome to the show, Braxton.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. And so funny, right? I know his cousin, and they sound just alike. So every time he says something, I feel like I'm talking to his cousin. Welcome. So. It's so good to have you on. And I know you're a busy man, so I really appreciate you taking the time to be here with me today. When Braxton and I met, Braxton, you haven't seen me in about 4 or 5 years. And so he had written a book called Fat Free for Life, the 13 Principles to get yourself together for weight loss and the ultimate health. So since that time, Braxton, I have lost 120 pounds.
What?
Yes.
Wow, that is phenomenal. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. So you haven't seen me for a while. So I know you work with a lot of people in the health and fitness space. We're going to talk about that first, and then we're going to jump over to the space that I really, no, I don't like health and fitness, but I had to do what I had to do. I had to do what I had to do. So I know you work with a lot of people, and right now, the pandemic, I call it the pandemic 15, because I put on pandemic 10. And so I've lost, I put on that 10 pounds while I was sheltered in, but I've lost 5 of those pounds. So it's so funny because I was telling my husband, like every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I weigh myself. And every time a pound drops off, it's like, oh, yes. So I did the pandemic 15. I did the pandemic 10. I kind of equated it to when you go to college and you do that, the freshman 15. I call it the pandemic 15 because a lot of people did. So tell us how you got into the health and nutrition space, because I know you're heavily into that space.
Yeah, I went to college and got my master's and doctorate degree in physical therapy. And, I used to be an athlete, actively competing in college. I ran track for the University of Miami. And, so it was kind of just ingrained in me to stay in health because you always had to stay at a certain a level of fitness in order to be competitive and to be successful. So, working out, eating right, those things just kind of went hand in hand. And when I got into physical therapy, I work with so many patients that have different comorbidities and diseases that really a lot of them are driven by weight, and some of the unhealthy habits of eating wrong and putting on too much weight. So you talk about hypertension, you talk about coronary artery disease, you talk about heart attacks and strokes. A lot of those things are byproducts. And, of course, the biggest one in our community that I've seen is diabetes and the secondary changes that come with that and the complications. So I was trying to say, well, what should I do? What can I do to help out? I mean, I've got this knowledge as a therapist. I know how to train people and treat them to kind of meet their goals as far as rehabilitation. But what does that do in the space of health and fitness? So I went ahead and got certified as a nutritionist and a trainer. Certified a strength and conditioning specialist. So I did that, and then everything just kind of came together well. And back when I wrote Fat Free for Life, I was always writing blogs on health and fitness and wellness, and of course my spirituality has always been strong, my connection with God. So when I wrote Fat Free for Life, it was an opportunity to take everything that I had learned as a therapist, as a trainer, my personal experiences and my spiritual knowledge and experiences, and put them all together in one book. So it was this whole amalgamation of everything that I thought that I can give to somebody in a package in this book to help them achieve their goals. That's why the keys, 13 principles. There's principles. There's 13 chapters, and each one of those chapters you're going to get a principle that I feel is important for you staying in good health. It's a spiritual principle, what God says about it. It's the personal experiences that I've had with that principle myself, or maybe even other people who shared with me. And then, of course, it's the statistics and the knowledge behind it. I ended up citing over 73 different works of research in that book. So it's really heavy on all the levels. So I think it just gives people a great blueprint and a roadmap that they can always go into. You can go into one of the principles, again, one of the chapters, revisit it, say, this is what I want to do, work on today. I kind of fell off doing this, so let me kind of focus back on that again. Because, with weight loss, it's about having these moments of falling off the wagon but getting back on and then refocusing and channeling your energy. So those principles are there. Even in the back of the book, I have that rapid fire round where I just had real people just ask me questions, and I put them in the books and I gave them answers. And I even referenced, here's your question. Here's the chapter that actually addresses that issue. So it's a good little cheat sheet for people who just open the book and say, hey, where do I start? You can go right to those questions in the back, find a question that's very similar to maybe something that you want to know about, and then just go ahead and just dive right in the book. So to me, it was a blessing to me that God had given me the gift of writing and to be able to take all of my skills and drop it into a book that I can give people, because people who've read the book they've given me such great feedback. They've been so excited, and they really feel like it spoke to them personally. So I know when I wrote it, the editor was like, hey, we want to write this so you're speaking directly to people. So it's this first person narrative, and it's just me. So I think that's how I really got into it, and that was my way to give to people in the best way I could. If I could have given them that little cheat sheet or guide, that's really what Fat Free for Life is. So ever since then, I just kind of been still doing what I'm doing, rehabbing and working and training folks and exercising and just trying to stay fit and be a good example for people around me.
Now, one of the things, I was on a conference call on Tuesday, and they had a doctor on there, and he was talking about the COVID-19 virus, and he was saying that what they had found was because people were saying, well, if you're overweight, if you have high blood pressure, if you have diabetes, that's one of the main issues causing people to die. So what he said on the call was that, they have also found studies to show that a lot of that had to do with the medications that people were taking who had those issues. So, for example, he was saying like anything with the name Pril on the end, if you're on high blood pressure medicine and anything with Pril on the end was one of the contributing factors. And I thought that was amazing. So instantly I started thinking about people who had high blood pressure. I'm like, wait a minute, let me call this one, let me tell this one, But the other thing he said was the best way to fight off the coronavirus is to keep your immune system strong. And I don't think a lot of people know how to do that. Like, I'm taking all kind of supplements right now. I don't know if they're working or not. They could be working against me. But every time they was like, take something, I was like, okay, I'm taking it. What are some of the ways people can boost their immune systems right now to help them stay healthy, especially with this virus that's floating around that's very deadly?
Right. And they talk about that. And I think that's in general, though, keeping your immune system high, we're bombarded. Our bodies are bombarded by I call them bugs. That's basically what these viruses and bacteria are. They're little bugs. They're just at a microscopic level, and their whole thing is to survive. And they want a host. They want somebody who they can get into, and they can do things and kind of feed off of and fester. And that's you become their home. So they get in this relationship with you, which is not positive. But they need to exist, so they want to coexist with you. But unfortunately, they're somewhat parasitic, and that is one of those relationships where there's a lot of take but no give. So if you keep your immune system high, your body can fight off a lot of these diseases, especially in the instance that you've been exposed to something like this before. There's a good chance that your body has now built up the antibodies, and the efficiency of how your body fights against these bugs is what's improved with your immune health. And you can do that simply by exercising. That helps to bump up your immune system. That's the easiest way. The supplements that you're talking about, but I remember I had an exercise science teacher who taught me in college because I was working out and exercising. I was like, hey man, what's the best supplements to take? What should I take? And I, kind of bombarded with all these questions. He said, well, what are you eating? He basically just broke down my diet. And then he said, honestly, if you eat the right things, Braxton, you don't have to supplement them. I mean, a supplement is what it is. You're supplementing for not eating right. He said, but if you eat the right things, your leafy greens, your good fats, and a good dose of protein to kind of refuel your body if you're working out, and an even ratio between carbohydrates and calories is key. So if you can do those things, your immune system will be very efficient at what it's made to do, and you won't have all these complications. As you mentioned with that doctor, I think that's very interesting, talking about the Prils. The Prils are a set of blood pressure medications, but the side effect is that they make you cough. So I'm curious to do a little more research on that because, again, what's the main symptom of people who come into the hospital with COVID-19? That they're always coughing and they go into respiratory failure. So I guess there's some kind of a mismatch with the amount of coughing that you're doing where you're not expelling enough of the virus, because it kind of travels through your nostrils and your airways. And I guess if you're not coughing efficiently, but you're just having these deep coughs, you're probably taking it in and not getting it out. Or maybe that's just a secondary symptom. You already got it. The medication was doing something to you to kind of decrease your immune system, and then the cough is what came symptomatically with the Pril. So very interesting stuff. And, I just hope that with the way healthcare is going, that we continue to find out and put all the pieces together about this disease, because it is one of these things that I don't know. I'm hopeful that we're going to get a handle on, but there are no guarantees that we ever will. And I think it's just a sad state because, this disease has wiped out so many, and even in our community, it almost seemed like we had been targeted. And it was a perfect storm because we don't have the necessary medical resources and availability to those resources in our communities as much as everybody else, and it's a disproportionate ratio of how poorly we've been taken care of. And I'm glad when I hear the science kind of catching up to this thing, so we can really start to strategically address those problems in our communities, and hopefully with the voting that goes on in November and maybe a possible change in administration, we can actually get some new laws in place that will combat that as well.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I've been talking about voting here since they're still counting ballots. I think as of this morning, which is ridiculous. They're still counting the ballots because they were not expecting that 86,000 people would do a mail-in ballot, so they didn't have the manpower to take people in. The other thing that's crazy, and we're going to keep moving, but I just want to say this real quick, is that people, and I know there are a lot of people that I'm supporting right now in Gwinnett County, but you got to tell people when you go out and when you go out to their homes to sign them up for the vote, they cannot X out the box. They have to shade the box in. That's another issue that they're having, that the boxes are X'd out versus being shaded in, so they can't count that vote really unless they count it by hand. And so people are people. I used to work at the jailhouse, and we had in the medical records department, and I'll never forget it. There was a woman who came in. She worked with me. She had to come over to my unit to work that night from another jail, and this girl came in and she threw away a bag of medical records. And I was like, what are you doing? She's like, man, I'm not about to sit here and file all these medical records. But that's human nature. You look at a pile, and she was like, I'm not about to do this. And she threw them in the garbage because she was like, it's too many. And so I'm looking at her like, yeah, I'm going to make sure they know that you threw that bag in the garbage because you're not going to get me in trouble. But I'm just saying, people look at all of them ballots and they be like, man, I can't even... This is X'd out. I'm not going to count this. I'm going to put it to the side. So your vote may not get counted. Right. And we have to go to the polls in November. We have to go in big numbers like we've never gone before if we want to see some real change. So I've been talking about this forever, and I'm going to keep talking about it because it's really important to where we are right now. So I want to just flip for a second, flip over. I want to talk about your writing and the novels. 16 novels, that's a lot of writing, Braxton. But I know that there are people like you who do it. I tried to do one, and I'm still trying. I know you and I talked about 4 years ago about me doing my one novel that I'm still trying to get out. But you've been writing for such a long time, and I know that comics and all those things were some of your passion projects. Talk a little bit about that side, because there are a lot of people out there right now who have had a lot of time because they were sheltered in, who said, you know what, now's the time for me to write my book. Now's the time for me to illustrate this next novel. Now is the time. And so how do they get started? And when did you get started? And when did you know you wanted to be a writer?
What happened is that it was a calling for me. I was in church one day, and my pastor was preaching, and he said that God was talking to him, and he said he wanted to use some people who were in the pews to do something great, and they had never, and it might be possibly something you've never done before, and, would you be willing to ask God what that is? And I tell people it was my Isaiah moment, from the Bible where he says, send me, God, choose me kind of a thing. And I did that. I just started praying. I said, God, what would you have me do? I heard a very distinct voice say, write a book. And I kind of laughed at it because I never wanted to get into writing, although I guess I had the gifts or the tools for it, because in college, every class that I took that was essay format, I would get an A in. If I could explain myself, I had an opportunity to get a really good grade in the class versus multiple guess or multiple choice, some people would call it. I hated those exams, so I always second guessed myself. But when I got essay class, I would do great. So I felt like, okay, well, I'll try this. And right then I started sketching out my kind of a synopsis for my first book series. And it came together well. And, before you know it, I wrote it. And 3 months later, I had I think it was 5 months later, I had like a 90,000 word novel. And then I ended up getting with a small publisher here in Atlanta that kind of got me started. And then eventually things just kind of grew, and I ended up creating Cosby Media Productions. And, now here we are with publishing authors. We've got like over 30 authors. We've published over 60 books. a lot of award winners, a lot of bestsellers on Amazon. We have books in ebook, paperback, and audiobook. And, it's been great because I'm always the one who, when people pitch the story, I ask them to send it to me, and I'll read it over myself, see if it's interesting. And we have some inspirational titles in there. We've got a lot of great fiction, science fiction, superhero, fantasy, and we've got some biographical stuff. So I feel like we have a really nice mix of books that if anybody goes to the website, I think they'll find something that they're going to be pleasantly surprised to read, and I think it'll speak to them in some way. So it's been a gift to me. I do have my passion projects. I do love writing my science fiction myself, and I think they're great. But of course, you have to write I tell people all the time, when you write your favorite story for you first, and if you love it and if you dig it and you get into it, then a lot of people will respond to it. So just making sure that you're very particular about what you're writing, you're knowledgeable about what you're writing, so that when it comes from you, it comes from the heart, and you're able to just speak on it and share it. And then, of course, when people ask you what your book's about, you got to be able to give them that 5-minute spiel that will capture them and make them interested, so they'll pick it up.
That's so cool. I'm glad you said that. Now, I could write a how-to book, how to start a business, how to start a podcast. I could write that with my eyes closed. But when it comes to writing, when it comes to writing novels, I have great ideas because I love stories. Like, I absolutely love stories. And so when I think about writing a novel, I'm like, oh my God, like I feel like I'm like out of my. It's like I feel like it's not supposed to be me, but I want to write a novel, and I have about 3 that are in on paper somewhere. The one day I'm gonna write them. So I might just have to hire you to help me get it done, because I think they're really good stories.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think they're great stories, and I think they need to be told. I think I want to write under a pen name, though. Like, the first time I ever wrote something, it was under a pen name. It was like me and 3 of my friends. We used to mastermind every Sunday, and we decided one Sunday we were going to stay behind, the 3 of us. It was 6 of us, but 3 of us stayed behind. We was like, we got to make some money. And we decided to write this book. It was called A Cookbook to Romance. And this is a long time ago.
Nice.
This is like 1998. And we sat back and we wrote that book in 3 months. We all had our section. It was a great people loved that book, but we were so afraid because we were all into church, and it wasn't raunchy. When I look back now, it was really subtle. But we were all afraid to put our real names on it, so we put our pen names on it. So my name on the book was Dominique Pierre, and my daughter's first name is Dominique, so I kind of borrowed her name. One of the authors' name was Nikki Jordan, and the other author name was Amanda Rochelle. And we had a great time writing that book. And I remember we sold out the book at Jacob Javits Center at the Kwanzaa Festival. That's huge for anybody who don't have.
Beautiful. Yeah,
if you've never been to Jacob Javits is huge. And at Kwanzaa time, they do the Kwanzaa Fest. That is even bigger. So they take over the whole Jacob Javits Center, and people are just coming in through there. And I remember Dr. Bob Lee came and interviewed us as we were vending. We got shot on WBLS radio. It was so cool. But that was my first foray into that type of writing. But I want to do some more. And I think the more I streamline the company, the more time I have to put towards it. So I'll be reaching out probably to see how you can help me with that. Yeah.
Please. So you're saying that and when is does this convention still go on now?
I'm not sure, but it's normally right after Christmas at Jacob Javits. I used to do when I was out there really, really in the industry, I did everything. I did book fair, which is always around June at Jacob Javits, and then I did the Kwanzaa Fest, which is right after Christmas, like the 7 days after Christmas. It's like this big thing at Jacob Javits, and it was a great event. I used to do all of, like, back then I did every big conference they had and big trade show. Circle of Sisters was another huge one that I did really, really well at. And Book Fair, of course, was great as well. So, those were some really major ones. And you could really get a lot of publicity and eyeballs. I remember being at Book Fair. Book Fair is huge, too. And I remember getting on the elevator with this woman. She knew exactly who I was. And I felt so bad because I didn't know who she was. Like, hi, Audrey. And I'm like, hi. But she had read about me. It was crazy. She had read about me somewhere. And we were getting on the elevator at Jacob Javits, and she knew who I was. And I was like, I think I was podcasting then, because I think that was around 2010. So it was still going on then, but I haven't gone since I've been in Georgia. So now I
you
know
say it's called Book Fair?
Book Fair comes in June. That's the industry. That's the book industry. It's Book Fair America, and that's
Okay.
big. And it's normally in June, and then the Kwanzaa Fest is normally in December. And Circle of Sisters used to be around October.
Yeah.
So but it was like huge.
Okay.
Like you think so? The one they do here in
Right.
Atlanta, I've been to that one. It's not as big as that one, so it's big. And because it's New York too,
Right.
so I don't know. But here's the thing: we're still trying to figure out how to move forward after this COVID thing. So I don't know if anybody's doing anything that major right now.
Yeah, probably pause.
Yeah. So I know when you and I first met, you had Cosby Media going. You guys had internet television like I do. Do you still do that? Do you still have that part of the company going on, or are you just strictly into publishing right now?
Yeah, I'm just strict. I kind of pulled back. I had a lot of pieces I was manipulating, so I decided to pull back and just take a break and really flesh out what we're doing. And now that we're finally really getting some good traction in the publishing industry, like I said, I've written some screenplays. I'm starting to network and get them around, got them in some contests. And my next step is to really get these books that we have rights to into the hands of Hollywood and try to get some of them produced. So I've got a couple of things I'm working on in the fire and kind of cleaning up some things. And once that ball gets rolling, that's when we'll kind of dive back into that wing of the company.
Yeah, I know a lot of people think that, that it's impossible to take a book and take it from book to screen, but that's not impossible. You just have to have a good team of people behind you, because if you don't know the industry, you're going to be out there floundering, so you got to get a company or somebody good behind you to help you push you through that process, because it can be done. I've seen it done plenty of times, and the fact that we have all of this great technology out there, and if you're in the metro Atlanta area, you got a bunch of great producers right here in the area. So if you're just starting out and you just want to see your stuff on the screen, it could be done. It could totally be done. So Braxton, I know you got to go, and I have really enjoyed this, and we have to come back. I'm going to be streaming live video soon because I'm still in the TV space. I'm actually, my company, I rebranded. It's called Noise Media, and so we're going to be on Apple TV, Android TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire. So we're going to be doing some live video streaming soon to those platforms. So when I get that all squared up, and it should be done the end of this month or the first of next month, I would love to have you come back with some of your authors, and maybe we can do kind of roundtable, just to get them out there, and people can get to, talk to them and learn like what this process is like. Because I know writing a novel is not like writing a nonfiction, because nonfiction, you kind of, it's coming straight out of your head. Not that a novel isn't. I just feel like it's a little bit easier for most people who write how-to books, because they kind of live in it every day. Like I live in podcasting every day, so I could put a podcast, a book together in 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? So I want to bring you back with some of your authors, and we sit down, we talk about what that process looked like. And so anybody who's thinking about moving in that direction, what kind of advice can you give them right now?
If people are really trying to get started as far as with their first novel, the advice that somebody gave me was start off with a short one. Do a short novella, like a short write maybe 10,000 words, give it to people, let them read it, see if you have a decent outline. There's a lot of great outlines out there on the internet. If you just Google novel outlines or story outlines, and then try to just follow the blueprint and the script, and then let people give you feedback. Be open to it. You have to be able to give feedback. And of course, in this profession, you can't write and not take feedback. So you have to be willing to have people tell you what they believe, because if you ever get a really good editor, and I've been blessed to have quite a few good editors who work with me, they're going to tell you what's best for you, and you just have to trust them and kind of go with their suggestions. And so if you wear your heart on your sleeve and you're not open to criticism, you're not going to be successful as a writer. That's just the bottom line. So just be open to it, have fun with it, get your first one done, get it out there. It's your baby. Don't hold it so dear to your heart, because you may want to go back through and just redo that whole thing. I know Protostar has been through 3 or 4 revisions as I jumped from different companies when I decided to do it myself, and then just go to the next one after that and just move on, But just have fun with writing. It's therapeutic. It's a great undertaking, And it can be daunting at times. You can get frustrated. Just step away from it. If you need to take a break, go do something else for a while, and then come back to that book and just finally get it done.
Heck, I could do that. 10,000 words. Like, I'm sitting here smiling right now. Like,
hey, there you go.
Yeah, like I'm smiling, Braxton. Like, I could do 10,000 words. Okay, so I'm gonna do that. That's my challenge to myself. I have my friend Georgette, so she's also my business partner. She's on, her company is called Dynamic Life, so she's doing a Dynamic Life challenge. Every week she does something that she's never done before, which is great. And so I'm gonna, my challenge is to get my novella out of my head and onto paper. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Good.
I'm gonna do that.
There you go.
So how can people contact you and submit to you if they want to be on your imprint?
Right. Yeah, if they want to join Cosby Media Productions as an author, you can easily write me at Braxton at Cosby Media Productions with an S.com. You can also follow me on Twitter. It's at Braxton A. Cosby. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Braxton A. Cosby there. And if you go to Facebook, you'll just be able to find me on Braxton A. Cosby on Facebook. And that's my fan page. You can DM me and let me know what you're working on. If you just want to know more about us as a publishing company, you can go to CosbyMediaProductions.com. See all of our offerings, meet our authors, all their bios and stuff are there. All the books that they've written are there for you to peruse. And if you want to follow us and subscribe to us on YouTube, it's Cosby Media Productions, and you can see all of our book trailers. See what we got to offer, because I'm telling you, there's a book there that you guys would be excited to read.
All right. Thank you so much for being my guest. Listen, guys, Dr. Braxton Cosby, my guest. He'll be back. And some of his authors are going to come back as well. But thank you so much. I know you got to go, and I really appreciate you being here. Stay safe out there and keep helping us get in shape. I've done the weight loss. Now I got to build up the muscle and all that good stuff. But that's another conversation.
All right.
We'll talk about that next time. But thank you again.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. All right, listen, guys, I'm going to go to my last song, and after that song, I'm going to come back and close it out with my inspiration of the day, so stay tuned.
I can see you looking at me. Yeah, my eyes are open wide. So you want me to set you free? Take a walk with me outside. Tell me everything about you. Yeah, 'cause I really wanna know. You can ride with me forever. Yeah, anywhere you wanna go. Night is over the park and a few brave stars. I give you the moon and my all is yours. Don't hesitate, just give me your all. Just give me your all. So let's fly into a dream I won't deny. I'm so in love, let's go for gold. Let's go for gold. If we ever was lost before, now we finally found our way. And love is stronger than anything. We will make our own way. Night is over the park and a few brave stars. I give you the moon and my all is yours. Don't hesitate, just give me your all. Just give me your all. So let's fly into a dream I won't deny. I'm so in love, let's go for gold. Yeah, let's go for gold. So let's fly into
Welcome back. So listen, guys, that's all I got for you today. But before I go, of course, I want to give you my word of inspiration. So before I go, here's the word, because you know this is my Friday. I won't be back again until next week. Here it is. Our plans miscarry because they have no aim. When a man does not know what harbor he is making for, no wind is the right wind. Oh my God, that gives me chills. Let me read it again. Our plans miscarry because they have no aim. When a man does not know what harbor he is making for, no wind is right. Seneca said that, and was he right? If you don't know where the heck you're going, you will go nowhere. I don't care how long you stay on the road. I don't care how long you stay on the ship. I don't care how long you stay in the air. If there is no target to where you're going, you will get nowhere. There's not a correct wind that's going to take you there because you're not going anywhere. So you have to pick a target. And I know for a lot of us, especially in the business world, that is hard. It is hard to find that right thing. It is hard to find that target. But in order for you to get to where you got to go, you got to find a target. You got to have something to aim for. You got to have a goal. You got to have a dream. You got to have the plan. You got to have it. Because otherwise, you're just going to be aimlessly moving around, going in no direction really at all. No direction at all. So pick a target, y'all. Pick a target, aim for the target, set the goal for that target. You could do it. I believe in you. I know you could do it because I've done it and I know it's possible. Here I am. I was just a black chick. I went to school in Newark, New Jersey. I got kicked out of college, but I always pick a goal and I aim for it. I invented the first plus-size fashion doll. I've written articles. I have an internet TV network, and I'm not telling you all this stuff to brag or boast. I'm telling you what's possible if you just put your mind to it and you have a goal. It could be done. I'm launching a new TV network, right? Yes, people can lay in their bedrooms and watch us on TV. Yes, it could be done. You have to have a goal. I'm about to work on a new novel. I'm excited about that. Braxton got me excited. He don't even know. He doesn't even know that I'm super duper excited about this new novel that I'm going to work on. And am I going to put it on a pen name? Probably not. It's probably going to be on the Audrey. But now I have something to aim for. Let me tell you, when I was really out there in the book industry, that was one of the most exciting times for me. The doll industry and the book industry. You know why? Because I was out talking to people who loved what I love. They either love dolls or they love books. When I'm out talking about podcasting and I'm in the space with podcasters, we all love podcasting. We just do. It's an amazing feeling. And I'm telling you, as I sit here and I'm shaking my head as I say this, pick something and then find your people. Find your people. They're out there, but you got to pick something first. You got to find something to aim for. That's all I got for you today. Thank you again for listening. Be sure if you miss any episode of this show, go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to listen to past episodes. There also follow me on Twitter at GM Gwinnett. Follow me on Facebook at Good Morning Gwinnett. Join the Good Morning Gwinnett Facebook group. Good Morning Gwinnett. Follow me on Instagram at Good Morning Gwinnett. Like the show. If you like any episode of the show, go to iTunes and give it 5 stars. Good Morning Gwinnett. Download the app from the App Store. Good Morning Gwinnett. If you got an Apple phone, if you got an Android phone, there's an app for that. Good Morning Gwinnett. Download the apps. Really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. You could be anywhere in the world, but you spent the last 48 hours with me, and I love you for that, and I appreciate you for that. If you want to support this show, go to goodmorninggwinnett.com and pick any way to support it. Buy a cup of coffee, buy a pack of coffee, do a coffee subscription, buy a t-shirt, buy a pillow. Any way you choose to support this show, hey, buy advertisement. I appreciate that as well. But thank you again. Stay safe out there. Corona is still out there. I know we have opened up and we're having a good time, but you still got to stay safe. Wear your mask. Don't do stupid things out there. Listen, you out there, guys. I'm talking to my young black guys. Don't do things that's going to put your life in danger and make your family feel such heartache. Please don't. Please don't. I love you guys. Stay safe. I'll be back again Monday. Until next time, make it a great day. Bye, y'all.
You've been listening to Good Morning Gwinnett. Make sure to tune in Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to find out what's happening around Gwinnett. If you like this episode, subscribe now and share with your friends. To learn more about Noise Media Network, visit noisemedia.us.